Pick your hard. Want to find out what I'm talking about? Listen to this episode. Welcome to another episode of the Wedding Business Solutions Podcast. I'm your host, Alan Berg. I'm a speaker, author, sales trainer, website reviewer, and I help businesses like yours sell more, profit more, and have more fun doing it. Enjoy this episode. Hi, it's Alan Berg. Welcome back to another episode of the Wedding Business Solutions Podcast. I just finished recording an episode with Trip Wheeler. If you didn't hear that one about inflation, you might want to listen to that one. It came out a few weeks ago. And Trip said, I have a suggestion for you for a topic. And I said, sure, what is it? He goes, pick your hard. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, being overweight is hard, but also not eating that other donut is hard, right? So pick your hard, right? Quitting smoking is hard. And getting lung cancer is hard, right? So you pick one, which is harder. And then the same thing with our businesses. Pick your hard. It's hard to invest in some new equipment, or it's hard to invest in training, or it's hard to invest in education because you see the money going, right? You look at the money, but then the other hard is you have to do the work. So somebody that's bringing me in for sales training had asked me, how do I know what kind of results we're going to get? And I said, well, you don't, because they're not up to me. I'm going to give you tools. I'm going to give you tips. I'm going to give you techniques and things that you may not have, or remind you of some things that you should be doing, but you have to do the work, right? So the easiest thing for anybody to do, any of us about anything, is to do absolutely nothing. Just keep doing what you're doing. That is the easiest thing to do. So the hard is doing something different. The hard is saying, you know what? I'm going to go to that conference. I don't know if it's going to benefit me, but I'm going to go to that conference anyway. I'm going to spend that money. And that's what I do. You've heard me speak about this if you've heard the podcast before. 2022, I went to 3 different speaker conferences, one in Nashville, one in Dublin, Ireland, and another one in Dallas. And I had no agenda going. I didn't know what I was going to get out of it. And besides getting new friends, people that I've met, people that I knew either casually and then got to know better, or didn't know at all and now do, I also got some things that I'm using, some ideas, and a network of people I can reach out to and bounce some things off of. So that was a win. But it's hard. It's hard. I spent thousands of dollars on airfare and hotel and the conference expenses. But I've already signed up for 2023 for the 2 major conferences that I'm going to in the US, and I'm already signed up for one in the UK. So again, 3 of them there. And I just spent $2,000 on the admission for these 2 conferences. I know people complain about some of the conferences in the States that we have in the industry, and it's $250 for a ticket or something, right? I just spent $1,095 for one and $895 for the other one. That doesn't include my air, my hotel, or any of that other stuff. I'm investing in myself, and that's hard. I have to pick my hard. That means also those days I can't be doing work, right? I'm not earning money the same days I'm there, and that's hard as well, but I chose my hard. So what's the hard that you're avoiding? And you're taking the easy, right? Which gives you a different kind of a hard, right? So we could go back to health, right? Exercising, it's hard. It's hard to make the time. It's hard to if you haven't been doing it in a while or ever, it's hard to do it. You're going to get aches and pains and things, but we know the benefit is there, and the hard is I have to do the work. But the easy thing is, I'm going to sit on the couch some more. Right? I do this recording right now. I'm standing. That was one of the benefits I had during COVID, is I got a standing desk, so I can push a button. I can raise it up. I can lower it down. And now I can stand and do this, so I'm not sitting all the time. So that's better for my health. The hard, I spent the money. I had to invest in the desk, right? All these things here. I had to spend the time to do that. But it's easier now. And I think that's the thing with what Tripp was saying is, choose your hard, because the hard is also becoming easier the more that you do it. So what are some of the things you've been putting off, and you've been taking the one hard, or accepting the one hard because it's actually easy to do nothing different than you're doing now versus something else? Is it raising your prices? Is it changing the offerings you have? One of the things in my discussion with Tripp was about cutting back on the offerings that you have, making it simpler. It's something I've been trying to get so many of you to do. If you're a caterer, cut back on your menus. If you're a DJ, do you have to have all of those other things that you sell, or is it right sizing your business? Because, if you're a photographer or videographer, do you really need to do 5 weddings in a weekend or on a day? Or would it be better? Could you profit more by doing 3, being able to charge more, less staff, less cost, less things, and that's a better size for you? So those are hard things, but you have to choose that hard. So, Trip, thank you so much for this idea. And I want you guys to think about, what is your hard? And please share them with me. Email me, alan@weddingbusinesssolutions.com. Post a comment on the podcast, or message me through a social or whatever. But what is your hard? What have you been taking the easy hard, right? The do nothing different, and you accepting this one, versus could you do that hard? And what happens is, once you get on the other side of that hard, it was actually easy. So again, Trip, thanks for the suggestion, and thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Wedding Business Solutions podcast. If you liked it, please subscribe to this channel and post a review on your chosen platform, Apple Podcasts or whichever one. If you have any questions about anything in this episode or any of my episodes, email me directly at alan@weddingbusinesssolutions.com, or visit my website, alanberg.com, alanberg.com. If you have any suggestions for future topics or guests that you'd like to see, please again, email me or visit my website. Thanks for listening.